Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Disney Reel to Reel, a deep delve into the Disney animated canon. This month, I am taking it way back with a bestie that helped me get a break into podcasting many eons ago. Today, I am joined by Miss Deborah Williams, co-host of the former and now defunct Walt's new podcast. Deborah, welcome to Disney Reel to Reel.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's been a little while, I guess, since we recorded. Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here, Wyatt.
Yes, it's gonna be so much fun. I can tell. So I typically ask my guests some Disney-related questions before jumping into whatever discussion. And the first thing I wanted to ask you was, what got you into Disney?
What got me into Disney? Movies. I suppose I watched them, like a lot of people as a kid. And then going to the parks really got me interested. And then I was kind of curious as I got older why everyone was super into it still as like an adult, kind of looking back at some of the problems of Disney. So then a friend and I started a podcast as well, just kind of exploring all the old Disney movies and what was great about them, even with the downsides of them, but like what was also great about them and like what they achieved. So really a lot of things. It's been a journey, but up until now, I think I've seen all the animated features. So maybe I'm missing a Pooh Bear one, but other than that, I still love the parks for sure, and I like to watch the movies. They're very, I don't know. I keep wanting to watch some of the 40s ones lately. The ones from the war era, for no reason, just keep coming up in my mind to rewatch. So,
do any of them involve South America?
Yes, yeah. I really want to watch. I want to watch the Three Caballeros again, and some of the shorts that they did because they're really fun. Very interesting.
Yeah, shit was wild.
It was.
It was very wild. Actually, how many Disney parks have you been to?
I've been to 2. Well, if you count just like Disney World and Disneyland as one park each, then I've been to 2. I'm very interested in going to some of the ones in Asia, like Shanghai and Tokyo, though.
Oh, yeah. Tokyo is like the dream right next to Paris.
I agree. Yeah, I want to, because the Tokyo one has a park or a hotel in the park, so that would be pretty sweet. And also the haunted mansions are all different, and I want to see the different haunted mansions.
I don't know what it is. It's like, no matter how old I get, no matter how much like horrific shit I see on the internet, there is probably no way that you will ever get me on any of those rides.
No?
No, I don't know what it is. I'm just like, it gives the bad vibes. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. I had no idea.
Yeah.
How many parks have you been to at this point? Did you go to Disney World recently?
Yes, I went the second week of January.
Ooh, that's fun. How was it?
It was pretty good. It is a little funny because it's like I've been to Disney World, I think 8 or 9 times within like the last 20 years. And I think with each trip, it's been like, okay, the family, they're not into the crowds. They are not into the long lines. So it was just me and my mother this time, and we managed to get a park hopper pass. So we went to both Magic Kingdom and Epcot, and it was a pretty blast-tastic day.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I really still like Magic Kingdom. I really liked Animal Kingdom the last time I went. I think because I got to sit the front row during the... Oh, what's the mountain one?
Expedition Everest?
Yes, Everest. I got to sit in the front, and it was fantastic. Like, that day. So, I understand the crowds, though. I haven't been to Disneyland. Well, it's been a couple years, but it's kind of nice. It's a little smaller, and you can walk to both parks, so...
Mm-hmm. What was the first Disney movie that you remember seeing as a child?
The first movie I remember seeing was The Lion King. I saw it when I was super little. I was like still in the same bedroom with my brother and sister. So we were all pretty small. And I just remember watching the part where at the end they're coming back to Pride Rock and the hyenas are putting Zazu in the birdie boiler. And that part is just so funny to me, even still. But yeah, I love that. It's still a great movie. And at the time, I'm surprised I don't remember the part where the dad dies, but maybe I just blocked it out as a kid. I just stuck with the funny parts. I was like, let's just go with the Zazu portions of the movie.
Oh my god. I mean, I feel like a lot of people would be in agreement with you because of how traumatic that was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So that was a good one. I remember watching some of the shorts too. Like I do remember seeing the Fun and Fancy Free one as a kid too. Those were always on VHS and around, like in the 90s was just what we watched a lot. A lot of VHSs.
I mean, do you remember laser discs?
I don't.
Oh my god. I feel kind of weird because I actually own some, and like they're like DVDs, but they run like VHS tapes, but it's like they're the size of like a vinyl record, and you have to like flip it over to different sides that play like 20 minutes of footage and stuff, and it's really weird but neat.
That is kind of neat. I almost bought one. It was an ET Laserdisc from Amoeba recently because I thought it was the vinyl. I was like, this is $20. That's crazy. Like, yeah, no, I won't play it at all.
No, alas. Although I wonder if it comes with its own music and effects track. I don't know.
Oh, that would be that'd be worth it still. I really wanted the music. I was like, oh yeah, this will be sweet. But yeah, no. I know we have one at work, but I don't really want to just take this Laserdisc to work to watch E.T. Should have given it to you, I guess. I didn't know you had a Laserdisc player. That's cool.
Yeah, well, I only got one because I was like, there is no way that whatever Disney puts out these days on like special features and stuff, there's no way that that's all that they have in stock. So checked some out. I got some for Snow White, Pinocchio, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland. And it turns out that there's so much fucking stuff that they don't talk about anymore.
Really?
Yes. Like, there's like Alice in Wonderland, for example. There were like 30-something songs written while that movie was in production. And you could hear practically most of those demos on the Laserdisc.
Wow. That is wild. Yeah. That's why I don't want to get rid of some of my DVDs.
Yeah.
It's like... I wanted the special features. I know you could probably find a decent amount on YouTube, but I don't know if you could find all of them or all the dumb games they put on there. So,
well, maybe you wouldn't have to preserve those, but that's just
yeah, they are pretty slow. So,
all right. So, aside from that trip down memory lane,
fine trip.
Yes, indeed. Today we're talking about a 1924 silent film version of Peter Pan. And I guess the way I want to kick this off, as I typically do, like this is practically like cliche at this point, by asking, what are your prior associations with Peter Pan, like as a story or anything at all?
My associations with Peter Pan as a story, like, at this point, I had never read the book. I had seen a few of the movies, like the Disney one, 2003 one, and then Hook.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought about before was like, oh, it's kind of a story of just like adventure and not growing up. So it was so kind of ideal, you know, in a way. It's like never letting your inner child die. That's what I thought before. And then rewatching like the Disney one at the time, I was very surprised at how much racism was throughout the movie, so it's kind of hard at this point not to think of it. But then having watched that YouTube you sent me, I realized that was mainly Disney's take on the story, so that helps. But yeah,
fun times.
What did you think of it before?
Well, it's interesting, like, I feel like back in the day, my opinion of Peter Pan was mostly made up by the Disney version. even though I can't recall ever watching it like all the way through. Like I always stopped by the time they got to that fight in Skull Rock, and then I was like, okay, I'm tapping out of the movie. Like this just isn't doing it for me. I don't know why. And I feel like as a kid, my opinion of this was like on a teeter-totter, I guess, with Cinderella, which was like a movie that I didn't like that much as a kid. But now that I'm an adult, the pendulum has swung in the other direction, and I am very much team Cinderella when it comes to Disney movies.
It's interesting how our like interests change, because I still love the music from Cinderella, and I like it more as I learn more about it. Like even from having watched it for our podcast, I didn't really love it because I just thought it happened too fast. Like I like a nice build up. But honestly, like, Cinderella is a badass. She got out of her situation and put up with a lot. And the music is really good.
And she was wanting to get out of that house just to belong somewhere. But then it's like everyone else is like, oh, but she needs to be a mother and she needs to be a wife and she needs to do all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not what she's talking about. So, like...
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like she didn't leave for that reason. She left just to get out, like, and be among people and live it like the life that everyone around her got to live.
Yeah. Let's see. Other associations. Well, I've been revisiting Kingdom Hearts a lot.
Oh my god, yes.
Like the last 5 months or whatever. And that iteration of Neverland is probably my favorite thing that doesn't involve like Jeremy Sumter or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love Kingdom Hearts. I still haven't finished the third one, but yeah, being able to fly like through Neverland is so fun.
Yeah, and especially that room that they have that's like essentially like London town. It's like so pretty, and yet it's so small. Yeah,
exactly. I'm like just on the clock tower and just feeling good about it, but I do wish, if it were a different time, they probably would have explored the landscape more, but honestly, for what it is, it was so fun.
Oh yeah. And well, it's funny, like I talk about all this, and yet I've never gotten to that part in the game myself. Like I've just been so watching other people play it.
Hey, that's fine.
This is so cool.
Kingdom Hearts is one of those, it's fun to watch people play. Yeah, you don't have to even play like... games I will never play are zombie games, so this is as close as I get to like being a gamer is playing like games like Kingdom Hearts or like Lego Harry Potter and stuff.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of anything else that I played for about as long, and it was probably like GTA 5 or something, but I wasn't there for the story or anything. I was there to blow shit up.
Yep. I just like to ride the car around. I like to ride the car. I like to drive around LA or take in Zelda, love taking the horse, Hipona.
Yeah.
Just go on cruises around. Like, that's fine. Did you ever watch Hook, by the way? Did you ever see the Robin Williams one?
No,
Did you ever watch...
I haven't. And I do feel kind of bad about it.
That's okay. It's fun. It's a fun one. And it's got good music also, and I think you'd enjoy it. I didn't realize you didn't really like Peter Pan that much until recently, you said?
Yeah. Like, I had something written down about it, and I was going to save it for the end of the show, but like basically...
Oh, that's okay.
To sum it up, it's just like, I feel like now I don't... I still think my problems are with the Disney version and not the original book. But the whole thing of like, how like... the 1950s culture dictates that you become a boy and a man and all this stuff, and what constitutes as like masculine or effeminate or things like that. It's just like that movie's trying to tell you how to live your life, and I don't like that. So
yeah, that's a good point, because to me it almost seems like it should be like a freedom type thing, right? It was like an escape from reality and the constrictions of life. However, I guess they found a way to put the constrictions on it and define what it is to be an adult and to be a kid and to be a boy or a girl and in the world, and
to be a jealous bitch.
yeah Tinkerbell, I felt, she was done badly in that movie. Like she gets like the short end of the stick. Even in most iterations, I guess she's still kind of shown as just being like jealous. But I kind of wish they explored more, and maybe they do in like the shorts. I didn't realize her name Tinkerbell was because she fixed pots and pans or like metal objects. I had no idea. So I'm like, okay, well, I'd love to see that side of Tinkerbell, not just the hair pulling side of Tinkerbell. So
yeah. Well, it's just the fact that every woman in the movie, with the exception of Mrs. Darling, is like so hot for Peter Pan, and yet he is just like, these are my bitches. I got hoes in different area codes.
Yeah. But he still doesn't know what they want from him. He's like, everyone is my mom. And they want to thimble me. I don't.
Why won't you thimble me?
Yes. He loves the thimbles. He just doesn't understand. Oh my god, Peter is so daft sometimes. Oh man.
Oh my god.
I guess they said in that there's a YouTube video that Wyatt shared with me about like the queer LGBT or like the queer history of Peter Pan, and then talking about how he is like at a stage in his life where he hasn't like gone through puberty, or like his sexual awakening hasn't happened essentially. Mm-hmm. So it does explain like why he would be so confused about why everyone is hot for him. But that's for him. I don't know why everybody else wants Peter Pan so badly, but I don't know.
I feel like I'm getting all of my main points before we even talk about like the
oh, so sorry. I'm sorry.
No. Do not apologize. It is totally fine. But basically, it's like I was thinking like Peter Pan. I feel like it's a story that people obviously like associate with children, and I feel like the author J.M. Barrie kind of wants adults to get in on it as well. But since its publication, we've kind of added on to the like age thing by like having like tweens and teenagers and young adults, and I'm just like, I really want a gay young adult Peter Pan.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that crazy?
No, so you want a gay young adult Peter Pan. So you want him to be like out being Peter but still be in Neverland.
Basically, yes, but I feel like it's like instead of like taking children to Neverland, you kind of bring like it's gonna be like a really cringe like Twilight scenario where it's like, I can take you to a better world where you don't have to like bow down to society's expectations. You can let your freak flag fly.
No, I love it. I love that idea so much. Yeah, that's a great idea, Wyatt. Like, that is such a good idea. Because they're kind of... It's always those stories like, oh, plucked from obscurity or plucked from the middle of wherever. And it's like, especially a place during this time period where you weren't really allowed to express yourself. It's like... And take you to a land where you can. That would make way more sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that.
Oh my god. Somebody, HBO, Netflix, get on that right now.
Yeah, pick it up, please. Yeah. Please. I would love that.
All right. Well, with all of that out of the way, we can talk about James Matthew Barrie. No, you're fine. And to be fair, it's like I kind of want to do a little something different with J.M. Barrie, because I feel like in the past, particularly my episode on Snow White, I literally spent an hour talking about the history of the Grimm brothers and their story and all that stuff before I even got to talking about the movie. Mm-hmm. So I kind of want to keep things brisk this time, also because J.M. Barrie makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So basically,
I guess I'll have to learn more about him. Yeah.
Basically, he was born in 1860. He had this play called Peter Pan. It debuted at the Duke of York's Theatre in London on the 27th of December, 1904. And he passed away on the 19th of June, 1937, at the age of 67. That's it.
Oh. Hey, yeah. Brief. Yeah.
Yes. Well, here's the thing.
He was alive? Yeah.
The thing is, like, of all the authors I've talked about Lewis Carroll, I've talked about the Grimm brothers, I've talked about Charles Perrault, and Barrie has the most traumatic life story of any one of them.
Oh.
And it's kind of hard to talk about, and I'm also, like, there's speculation that he has, like, a curse attached to him for, like, people writing biographies about him, because I think he said something to the effect of, like, either damn or blast the person that ever writes a biography about me. And people have lost loved ones when doing, like, research on him.
Wow. I had no idea. That is so freaking wild. Yeah, no, we don't need to get into it then. Let's just play it safe and just...
I don't need to lose any more support at this moment, so... like...
Yeah, he can just live in, or die in peace. He can rest in peace. That's fine.
Yes. Okay.
That's so interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah. I didn't know this either, but there was another podcast that went, like, the whole 6 yards on him, like, 5 years ago. And then they talked about that, and I was like, oh my god, that just, like, triggered something, so, like, let's move on.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep, as much as I know about him, I learned from that YouTube you sent, so...
All right, so, otherwise, Barrie first conceived the character of Peter Pan in his 1902 novel, The Little White Bird, but it was the play that really catapulted the character to stardom. Because then he was just like I can't remember if he was either a character mentioned in passing or if he had, like, any role to play. I have not read it. So that's just me. So the story, it revolves around 3 English children, Wendy, John, and Michael Darling, who fly off to this place called Neverland with Peter and his fairy friend Tinkerbell. And there they meet pirates, mermaids, the Lost Boys, quote-unquote Native Americans, and Peter's nemesis, Captain Hook, before returning home to their family. Themes of imagination, youth, gender essentialism, and maturation are abound, with Peter remaining in Neverland even after the Darlings return home. Then Captain Hook, he is... Well, there's another interesting thing right there. So Captain Hook... In some adaptations, he is kind of built up as, like, a more masculine, threatening bad guy. But in others, like the Disney version, he's very foppish and effeminate. And I think that was kind of a jab at, like, effeminate dudes.
I know that Disney has done that with, like, queer coding a lot of their villains, and Captain Hook is no different. And they make him seem, like, kind of goofy. And then, of course, with Smee always being around him. And really just trying to keep people sticking to the status quo. High School Musical.
Stick to the stuff you know.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Actually, also, my opinion of that movie is also improving, thanks to... a creator named Dream Sounds. They have a YouTube channel. They did a whole series about High School Musical, and now I'm kind of getting back into liking it again.
Yeah, I liked it when it came out. I think, and I watched it because I was definitely a Disney Channel original movie hoe. Like, just, I loved it. I was, like, so excited to get my stuff and sit down and, like, watch that Let's Watch a Disney Channel Movie intro. Just got me going. So,
yeah.
High School Musical was a banger. The next day at school, we were talking about it. But I understand. It's like, I feel like you had to be right place, right time for that. So
I was definitely in the right place, right time for the sequel.
Nice, yes.
And it was
the third
so
one
funny
because
I was like, I would have been, what, did that come out in 2008?
That would make
2007?
sense. I was 8th grade when the first one came out, so that would probably be like 2006. So yeah, probably 2008 or so.
Okay, so I would have been like 8 or 9 years old, and I think Zac Efron, even then, he introduced me to my gayness.
And that's fair. Zac Efron is like who I'd want to be if I was a man. It's like, I think he's... Because I don't know if... I don't know. I think boy, I would be Zac Efron. I think he's like... Yeah, gender envy on Zac Efron.
And that's really funny because I remember watching the Bet on It scene with my mom, and she thought that the choreography they gave him was very effeminate. But I was like,
really?
He's just dancing it out. Yeah. He's dancing out his rage at like the country club that Sharpay's parents own. Like, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I don't know. You probably have figured this out, but I came out recently as lesbian like a couple of years ago now. That I always liked kind of effeminate guys at first. Like, that's who I'd have on my walls. Because it just like long hair and things. So I feel like that adds up. I'm like, oh, that's as close as I could get to being socially acceptable to like, whatever at the time. So.
Oh man. Well, actually, to ask a topical question that is instantly going to date this podcast. Panic at the Disco just ended like last week.
Yes.
And I should probably ask, was Brendon one of those men that you hung up posters of?
He was not. I like Brandon Flowers of The Killers. And I really liked Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin. All these guys with like long hair who just like when they were on stage moved in this kind of like androgynous, like effeminate type way. I really liked them.
It was bisexual chic.
Yeah, I mean, it was working. So David Bowie, Prince, yeah,
Freddie Mercury.
More like, yeah, it's like, looking back, I mean, plus like all the queer-coded female characters were normally like, I loved them. Like, I forget her name from Recess. I really liked her. She always wore the hat.
Spinelli.
Yeah. I love Spinelli and like Buttercup. I'm like, part of me loves them and I don't know why. It's like, for some other reason, I connect to these characters. I know that I don't have the same spirit as them. I'm more of a Bubbles, but I really like Buttercup. So.
Oh, man. But yeah, yes. Actually, I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, my Disney Instagram a few days ago, I made a post that was like, well, this band ended because he wanted to start a family, and that's all well and good, but I lost a zaddy this week, so I am in mourning. Please don't.
I lost a zaddy
Talk to me about anything else.
I was wondering about you. You and there's somebody else I know who loves Panic at the Disco, so I was wondering how you were feeling about everything. R.I.P. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah. Complete with the Spanish veil draped over my face.
Oh, perfect. In mourning, I get it.
Yes. So where were we?
Talking about Hook. Talking about Hook.
Yes.
Being,
thank you.
I guess effeminate.
Thank you. Yes. I think it's interesting. I think they're actually meant to be counterparts to Mr. and Mrs. Darling.
Oh. Peter and Hook are?
Oh no, Hook and Smee.
Oh, Hook and Smee? Okay. Hook I could see, like, isn't it Mr. Darling who normally plays Hook, or am I just making that up?
Yeah, it's the same actor.
Okay, I thought so. That would make sense. I mean, also because I will say the dad in the 1923 version, he needed to be yelled at least a little bit more for putting Nana outside. Like, I would be pissed.
We'll get to Nana.
So I could
get to Nana.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, please. So I could see them being like, I guess counterparts, but yeah, I guess expand on that because I could see that, but I haven't thought it through. So.
Well, I think it's because, like Mr. Darling, Captain Hook is very blustering, and he is like hell bent on destroying this 14-year-old boy? I never really thought about how old Peter's supposed to be.
I have no idea. 14 seems good.
Yeah, I was just thinking because it's like, yes, a lot of the time they have adult women playing Peter Pan, and they're I guess they must be really good at faking their age on stage. But like with the Disney Peter Pan, it's like you have Bobby Driscoll, and he's like, he would have been probably 13 to 14, and ever since I just put that energy onto him, even if he's played by a woman.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
13,
or maybe
14,
that just
makes
bleeds
sense.
into like the twink conspiracy. But
The twink conspiracy. Oh. Yeah, I mean, the ladies playing him, I mean, like, to me it was kind of clearly a woman. I'm like, this is a lesbian dream, I guess. But watching her come in dressed as Peter Pan, or bisexual's dream, maybe. But yeah, it's everyone's dream. Having a young boy come in through your window. No.
He's climbing in your window. He's snatching your people up. Hide your kids. Hide your wives.
Hide your wife.
And hide your husbands, because they're raping everybody up in here.
And everybody out here. Oh, yep. I love that.
Oh my god. I bring this at this point. This episode is like cross-generational. It's not just for the millennials. It's not just for the Zoomers. It's for the Tumblr kids. It's for the Zoomers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh
yes, I didn't even explain. I didn't even explain why. Oh no, I'm sorry. Please.
Oh no, wait. Why is Smee mommy?
Oh yeah. Because he's the one that's always like doting after Hook and being like, well, maybe we should approach this situation differently, or maybe you shouldn't be so obsessed with killing this child. Like, there are more rational things to do, like pillaging, plundering, drowning people. Like, why don't you just focus on something else?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, because Mrs. Darling, I think, had the right ideas also, where Mr. Darling and Hook don't listen to reason and just do whatever they want anyway.
Yeah. And it's just rough when, like, with the queer coding with Hook and Smee, it's like, on one hand, they are like pristine camp performances, but on the other hand, it's like they're the bad guys. So I don't know how to take it still.
I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of like Peter and Hook kind of being one of the same mind also. Like, Hook is kind of this adult, frustrated side of this duo, and Peter's more of like, you know, the young kind of carefree side. So to me, I'm like taking Hook and like all the villains and things, like, yeah, they made it so that we would not like probably queer people or queer presenting or whatever type people, but since these times and since us like acknowledging it, I mean, we're able to take it back now as adults. For kids, it's harder. I mean, you can't really separate it so well. So
no,
because people now like take back, like, you know, being Ursula, like, what is his name from? Oh, Titus from Kimmy Schmidt, when he did an Ursula cover. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Oh, Titus Burgess?
Uh-huh.
Oh man. That one was that cover was actually pretty fire. So
Yeah, I'm like, so I think we as a community can take certain parts back, but I think Disney is definitely like, you know, a dick for doing it at the start. So you know, but there's still like different powers to these people, and they kind of paint them all as evil, but I mean, Hook is very determined, so there's that. I guess there's pros and cons, but I guess for me, it's like in those situations, yeah.
He's devoted to his profession. He has great leadership. Yep,
exactly. His problem-solving skills.
He knows how to spin a what's the ship wheel? Is there a name for that?
Oh yeah, the helm.
Yes, he knows how to spin the helm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he is the top commander.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. How do you think? What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like Hook is more entertaining than Peter Pan, in my opinion. But I'm still, and I actually think that Hook is in the right for some things, because who the fuck cuts your hand off and feeds it to a crocodile?
Yeah.
As a joke.
Yeah, he does have a reason for vengeance, and I'm not against him there, because that's super dick.
It's such a dick move.
Like, he's never gonna get that hand back, so.
No. And then it's like, I don't know if I can put this next thing on other adaptations, but definitely the Disney one. It's like, the other thing that bothers me is that it has this really boomer energy going throughout, which is like, Peter Pan is more like, I'm the best person there ever was, and all these people are subservient to me, and I am not obligated to respect anyone. Everyone is obligated to respect me. And I'm just like, I wish you got fed to a crocodile.
I know. Peter isn't like a good person at all, especially in the Disney one. In the other ones, it's like he's kind of just confused, but he doesn't even know he's confused. In the Disney one, I feel like he is like straightforward, just kind of a jackass. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't really root for him most of the time. It's like he seems like a fun guy in the sense that it's like, okay, he is carefree, but the price of being carefree sometimes is like hurting other people or like not being aware of your actions having effect. So,
Yeah. And if anything, it really sucks because you know how there's like, it's like a fashion trend to wear like a Peter Pan collar with like those two slits around the neck, like as we saw in the silent film. And yet he's the one that has like the cut down the chest. And I'm like, if you were 18 and you weren't such an asshole, you would be my favorite. Like, it's terrible.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
I know. The characters in the Disney one, it's like I thought it was interesting how different they are from perhaps other like adaptations of Peter and Wendy and Hook. So Hook, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if they had like a Disney villain situation. If they queer code us all to like, or queer code them all to not be so evil. Like they queer code all the gays. Oh wait, no. Shit. Nah. I don't know what to say about Disney for that. I mean, they probably were just either. I don't even know if it was conscious or not at the time. So, Hook in this one I didn't think was as effeminate, but maybe he was.
No. I don't know how much Barry had to do with that. I will say. I know that in the play, he's obsessed with having good form, and like, he doesn't go back on his word and things like that. But in the Disney version, it's like, who gives a shit about good form? Like, I want to kill this child.
yeah. I want to kill this young man. Honestly, still for good reason. That whole hand situation, yeah.
But yeah.
I guess in the other versions, if he's not so, that's Disney's fault, because if Hook is is just shown as being like more of the grown-up traits of Barry or of Peter, if he were to grow up, then it's not so bad. He's just kind of more restricted and serious. He's not really playing pretend. He like is a pirate and whatever. While Peter's kind of like, just going around the island, hanging out with everybody, and
yeah, he's like if Captain Jack Sparrow had a reason to live.
yeah, we actually had like focus.
Oh man. But actually, moving on to some information about the movie, turns out that J.M. Barrie actually interviewed Betty Bronson, who was playing the title role, and he was set on her playing it, which had been tradition since the play's debut, as we've talked about.
So he interviewed her?
Yeah.
Before she did it or after?
Before.
Oh, okay.
And then he was like sold on her.
Oh, okay. I mean, she did a really good job. Her facial expressions were great, and like, I know acting before talking was involved was way different. So, I got all the messages, I think, that she was portraying, and honestly, the whole movie was, like, funnier than I thought it was going to be, and, like, you know, they just... How easy it is to forget, like, or to think that things of a different time might not have humor, or the humor might not hit, but it really is still funny.
Yeah. I will say that I think maybe in some moments she was probably doing it up a bit too much.
Probably. I just took it as her being like an excited kid, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to act in the... Yeah.
No, well, I mean, like, she nailed that. She absolutely nailed that. But I mean, like, when she was trying to give off, like, machismo or being like, I'm the alpha in this scenario, like, I was like, okay.
Okay. I agree. Like, she was definitely over the top. I could tell what she was getting at, no doubt. This is my first full-length silent film I've ever watched. So I knew it was going to be different. I didn't know what to expect exactly. So, yeah, she was very expressive. So, that was fun to watch.
Very active eyebrows.
Emma Watson watched her for inspiration, I'm sure.
Oh my god. You're probably not right, but I wish.
I wish, right? Yeah.
All right, but let's see. So this 1924 film was distributed by Paramount Pictures. It was directed by Herbert Brennan, with special effects by Roy Pomeroy, and cinematography was by James Wong Howe, who was a renowned Chinese-American cinematographer. And actually has a pretty stacked list of films to his name that he, like, shot. But one of them was he filmed the interstitial sequences of Fantasia.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That is super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we have, like, Deems Taylor droning on and on and on about all of these segments that we're about to watch, and then Leopold Stokowski, like, conducting faux members of the Philadelphia Orchestra. Like, he was the one behind the camera when that happened.
That was him. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. They recently showed Fantasia at that... There's a Quentin Tarantino movie theater here where it's like just film that they play. They don't do digital. I'm so mad I missed it, but they just played it it's just down the street for me. I have to go sometime.
I'm actually kind of jealous. Like, I know you didn't go, but I'm very
I'm jealous too. I was like, I drove by and I saw Fantasia on like the marquee outside, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, this is like, because especially now knowing more about it, I was like, this changed audio for so many things. I was like, oh my god, I'm so upset I missed it. But hopefully they bring it back. They play a bunch of other different movies, like horror films or whatever. I guess Fantasia too. So
they don't go for the mainstream stuff.
Not really. Like, nothing new that I know of. So they'll play, like, I forget, like Frankenstein or Dracula, some of the older movies, which is just really fun to watch on the big screen, because that's why they made those movies to begin with, because you didn't have a TV really, is to watch them on the big screen. So to view it on its like original format is pretty unique. If you ever come out, Wyatt, let me know. It's on Beverly Boulevard out here, so
that would be the ultimate dream, but I don't even have a learner's permit right now, so it'll probably be a while.
I don't even have a learner's permit. Oh, that's so funny.
I know. There's so
that's
much
fine.
shit
You don't need
I
a
wanna
learner's
do,
permit. I mean,
like, I literally cannot, like, get the nerve to get all that shit going.
Oh yeah, the paperwork alone is enough to keep me away from things. So
I know. Like, I literally spent this last semester of college riding charter buses, like, 2 days a week, and spending, like, probably $150, $200 a month, when I probably didn't have to.
That's amazing. Well, that's still... Oh, just on that, I was like, if you only spent that much a month, I was like, that's so impressive.
Yeah, they were like, anywhere from, if you were just taking one ride, it'd be like, I think $15 to $17, but then a round trip was nearly like 30.
I mean, honestly, no, it's totally separate, but like cars are kind of annoying, and you do have to pay for maintenance, you have to pay for the car, you have to pay for gas, like insurance, so I think you're doing just fine.
Yeah, I thought I was doing just fine, but the family was absolutely not down with it.
Oh, okay, whatever.
They were like,
you know what, you do your
please,
thing.
please, like, you want to go out and do stuff, and I'm like, yeah, at my own damn pace. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It took I have friends who didn't get their driver's license until, yeah, later, like early 20s, mid 20s, especially like a few people out here. It was like, just wasn't really practical at the time. So, yeah.
But if I ever want to go down to Florida without the fam, because they are pretty conservative, if I ever want to go down with the homies at any point, then yeah, I'd probably have to get something going.
Yeah. All in good time. Have you driven a car?
I drove one. Ooh, it was in 2017. That was the last time I drove one.
Oh man, that's so crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I wish we didn't have to have cars, honestly. Like, the dream would be for us to all be able to ride bikes and take trains in my mind, but
yeah,
alas, in America, most of the time you need a car.
Yeah. Going back to the budget. The budget for this film was $40,030, but it earned $630,229 at the box office.
Holy crap! That's
that's like equivalent to roughly $10 million today.
Wow, that is amazing. That's insane. Like, what they earned from what they spent. Good for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And then our cast features Betty Bronson as Peter Pan, Ernest Torrance as Captain Hook and George Darling, Mary Bryan as Wendy Darling, Virginia Brown Fair as Tinkerbell, Edward Kipling as Mr. Smee, and Anna May Wong as Princess Tiger Lily. And with that out of the way, do we have to touch on the other issues?
What, Anna May Wong?
Yeah.
Being... Yeah. I didn't really... Tiger Lily wasn't in it for very long, right?
No, but I also don't know how much of this film is, like, still lost, or if what we saw was, like, the full version.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm guessing there must have been another scene, because I kept trying to... When they were saying that they fought off the pirates or something, but I'm like, did they fight the pirates? I know Anna May Wong is very well known and quite famous, but I haven't seen... This might be my first movie watching her in.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about her. I just haven't watched anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wish that they did a better job with diversity, but considering for the time, I am happy that they didn't just put, a white person. This was like, they're like, anybody, I think in their mind, they're like, well, as long as they're not white, then maybe that fits the role, ? Like, I don't know. So,
yeah.
they did not, it's not a good thing, but I think that's probably their thought process was like, anybody who's not, just trying to find anybody who was like, different, let's say, than the rest of the cast. So I'm happy for the opportunities that it gave her. However, obviously this is not the ideal situation.
Yeah. They're like, anyone that you could not possibly find hiding inside a tuna can, you play other indigenous roles.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a can of sardines or something.
Yeah, anybody that's not like over here, we'll put you in this role, and that, I think it was just so common. It's like, it's so annoying. It's so annoying to watch.
Yeah.
But I am like, I'm certain it's like, I don't know, just the racism in other roles, the racism in the movie and things, it's, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it. You could take that part out. I'm like, I don't really know what to like sum it up as. It's like, it's wrong. I'm happy that she has an acting role. I'm happy that we're learning from it now. It has been 100 years now, And only now have we actually even started putting people behind the characters, like, correctly, remotely correctly. So.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about Disney's Pocahontas.
Yeah, that one hurts.
Yeah.
That one's... Pocahontas was rough. It's like, that is just absolute trash. I love the songs, love the music. I think they effed up. It's amazing. Yeah, also just thinking, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still think I'm gonna support Mencken and whatever he does, but Stephen Schwartz was not the right choice for to be the lyricist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's a good
terrible.
point. That's a good point. Yeah, I wish the 90s we were just like fraught with like putting diverse characters maybe on the screen, but not telling like the right story and not with the correct people behind them. Mulan, they at least got actors from China or Chinese actors. That's as close as we got, I feel like.
But that you could say pretty much the same thing about the remake, and nobody liked it.
Oh yeah, well the remake was, for me, I was not a fan of that. It was most of the ones that they've done live action though I haven't really enjoyed. So no different, I guess.
No, I've really only liked Cinderella, and I am trying to be optimistic about The Little Mermaid, but everything else is shit.
Yeah, the Cinderella I heard was good. I still haven't seen that one. I didn't mind Beauty and the Beast, but also I do love Emma Watson, but I did not like her singing in that. It just felt overproduced. So yeah.
I just wish they would have kept the version with Dan Stevens in that mocap outfit.
What?
Yeah,
I don't think I know that.
Originally, they were gonna have him in like practical makeup with like real fur and real makeup and stuff, but then they were like, make him CG, and so they had him wear this gray mocap suit when he was like dancing with Emma Watson in that yellow gown, and it's like, look it up, it's so hilarious.
I have got to see that. I might look it up on my phone right now because that's like,
yes, please do.
A gray mocap suit. I've never even heard what that is. That how you capture people?
Motion capture. Yeah.
Beauty. Oh. I should know that, and I had no idea. Beauty and the Beast. And Beast. Oh my god. I wish. I really wish they kept this. He looks so thick.
I know!
Wow.
You need that boy doing the Macarena in the ballroom.
Yeah. Oh my lord. Oh my gosh. Good for the acting for Emma Watson. The things they go through.
They go through.
I think they do. I like that they tried to fix Peter Pan. They said in the 2003 one, right? Where, well, the Native American scene, where they actually had like a native, or they had an indigenous.
Yeah. That's another one that I haven't watched, but I think I really ought to.
Yeah, I like that. At least the effort is there. So, because otherwise it always made like Native American people seem like they were some sort of mystical people who like weren't around anymore. Like that's like what it showed us as kids, like between that and Pocahontas and stuff.
She has her mother's spirit. She goes wherever the wind takes her.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Now if you'll excuse me, I'll go majestically pose over a rock.
And pose she did.
She did. But god damn it. All right. Anyway, so the exteriors of Neverland in this film, they were filmed on Santa Cruz Island in Santa Barbara, California. And I guess as a resident Californian, I should ask, have you ever been around that area?
Yeah, I've been up there. I've been to Santa Barbara. I don't think I've been out to Santa Cruz Island. I've been out, maybe I have, because I took a whale watching tour with my sister, and I don't remember which islands we saw. Santa Cruz Island. Yeah, I don't know if we saw that one. We may have. I have been to San Pedro, which I saw they filmed a couple things down in San Pedro, and I'm certain I have looked out there because I used to go walk around there all the time when I lived in Long Beach. My dentist was over there, so I would sometimes just shuffle to the beach just kind of to look at it, and so I was amazed to hear that. I knew they had to film somewhere around here, and I was like, I didn't know where.
Yeah. I think the funniest shot in the movie was when they were trying to get all the mermaids to head back into the ocean to attack the ship.
Uh-huh.
They were all just like, all right, girls, let's slog our way down the shore.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be uncomfortable. It's like rocks, and also the water is so cold.
Yep, and those tails
Flippers.
of... Yeah, this is terrible. And then they were just like... They were doing the worm as they were, like, waddling out into the water.
Mermaids are so majestic and graceful.
I know. They should have had Halle Bailey do that.
Honestly, yeah, maybe they'll do that this time just to, like, do a callback, you know,
Just
to
to
the 1920 version.
Oh my god. When she does that shampoo commercial hair flip when she gets out of Ursula's lair. Oh my god.
A comedic, like, Little Mermaid like that would have me dying. That would be so fucking funny.
Yep. We're gonna churn out so many, like, film production ideas, and nobody's gonna take us seriously on this episode.
That Peter Pan one, I love that idea. I'm like, I didn't realize how queer Peter Pan was until watching that YouTube, and I'm like, wow, sold on all of it.
Yep. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the movie's reception, J.M. Barrie was displeased with the final film, as he felt the production team, they didn't really take full advantage of his story's cinematic potential. And he went on to say, quote, "It is only repeating what is done on the stage, and the only reason for a film should be that it does the things the stage can't do," unquote.
I could see that. I mean, I guess I would have to have seen the stage version, but it did play out kind of like a play. Like, the camera movement wasn't too... I mean, I know the cameras were huge then, so there wasn't a lot of, like, movement as opposed... Like, it was just, you know, cut to a close-up, cut back out to, like, the full set. So I could see why he would say that. I'm sure nowadays he would get more of his wish, because it did play out like a stage play. I thought they kind of intended for that to be. I thought they might be bringing the play to people somehow. Yeah, I could see why he wouldn't be super stoked on it, but maybe he didn't give credit to the fact that that was what they could do at the time. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they could have done more in the 1920s than I'm giving them credit for.
I mean, I think hands down the greatest shot in the movie was when they had that pirate ship floating up out of the water and into...
Same. I was like, whoa,
so
that was pretty
cool.
good. Yeah, I was like, and it looked natural. I was very impressed. I was like, it didn't look like a little toy, like, kind of stuttering into the sky. I was like, wow, that was very smooth. I was so impressed.
Yeah. Take that, James Cameron.
Yeah, exactly. Could never do that with the way of water.
I'm the king of the world.
Takes off.
Oh my god.
James Cameron does love water, so that scene would have, maybe he was inspired from that. Him and Emma Watson just love this movie. I know it.
Yeah, he definitely would have gotten wet from this movie.
Yeah.
That's my one joke. I'll be here all night. Oh my god. All right, we're getting near the end, I promise, of the rundown.
Oh,
okay.
No worries, yeah.
Okay. So, many copies of this film were later destroyed, as distributors did not see long-term profit value in it. And it's interesting because this is one of the first movies where they were like, oh, maybe this does have potential to be, like, shown in theaters, like, every few years or so, but they didn't take that risk.
Wow, I would have definitely taken that risk. I freaking know. I'm saying it now just because It's obviously like a classic tale at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like people watch it over and over again, remake it over and over again in different ways. So I think it would have been worth it. However, I guess they only had about maybe a good 10, 15 years left of replaying it potentially until like the talkies started entering the theaters. But still, and to make that much money the first time, I'm a little surprised they didn't take that risk.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it being silent is also a big deal breaker.
Yeah. Oh man. I was gonna say I went to this museum out here. It's called the Nethercutt Museum, and it's mainly about cars until you get to like the top floor, and then they have a bunch of self-playing musical instruments. It is wild, and they also have, and I forget what those are called, but they're like orchestras in a box, and they're like the size of a decently sized wall, basically. And it's these violins that play themselves, everything like different wind instruments playing themselves. They play a song. And in the middle of the room is an organ. And they have all of the stuff around it. And it would be like what they would use to play at the silent movies. And so he played for us like different sound effects that they would have. It was so neat. Like to be that person playing the organ would have been, or I don't know if it's still an organ, but it was like a crazy job. So I was kind of paying attention to that. It was rewatching this, the fact that that guy was playing along to it in the YouTube video was very cool. Like he has to, hit all the right parts. Like when the boys start singing the American whatever anthem.
Oh my god, I forgot. That was the funniest thing.
Yes.
Honestly. When at the very end they take down the pirate flag and they put up the American flag.
Yes. I was like, I thought this took place. I thought they were British, but I guess we're American in this version. So that I was like, I didn't realize this was such a patriotic film.
I did.
Oh
my god! They should have had who's that country artist?
Oh, Toby Keith or
Toby
Garth
Keith.
Brooks? One of them. I don't know.
Toby Keith.
Oh my god!
They'll put a boot in your ass.
Yes.
It's the American.
Oh my god! Oh
my god!
That was what sold tickets. I tell you what. That really surprised me. I was like, I didn't realize how. I mean, it wasn't like too overt, but it was overt enough. I was like, I really thought that these kids were British, but in this one they're gonna be American because we are doing this in America. I guess. Is J.M. Barrie? Is he British or is he American?
No, he's Scottish.
Oh, he's Scottish. Wow. Huh. Well, I guess neither of them make sense, but I don't know.
And I'm trying to think, like, it's not even that it's British, it's that it's taking place while King Edward was on the throne after Queen Victoria. And so I'm just imagining it like Wendy's being like, "Oh, Peter, please take me to the land of the free and the home of the brave."
That's where Neverland is. Oh.
Oh my god.
They'd have us think that. Yeah.
Let's see. And so with copies of the film being virtually like obscured through time, somebody managed to find a 16 millimeter in the 1950s, and with the help of a copy that was also held at the Disney studio, which I'll get back to like when we get to the end of this episode, the film was restored in the 1990s, and it was re-released in 96 as part of the Pordenone Silent Film Festival.
Oh, cool. That's really great that they were able to find it and put it back together. Like, it always like freaks me out about stuff kind of getting lost to time. So, and this is like the silent movie era did a lot, so I think it's pretty cool to actually have pieces of it to still watch and people still care about it.
Yeah. There are obviously other ones that I wish would have been absolutely destroyed. We don't have to get into that here,
well,
but
yes. There's that. I mean, they hold importance in ways that people are disgusting. So we just have to remember that. But
We do have to remember that, but like, if this gets preserved over like Birth of a Nation, I'm absolutely not going to get angry about it.
oh yeah, me neither. If we have one thing that we're sending out on a spaceship, like, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. And then finally, in 2000, the National Film Registry selected this film for preservation by the library, the Library of Congress, for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. And it is the first film discussed on this podcast to be inducted into that registry.
Oh wow, wow. I wonder what made them choose this over some of the other movies.
Well, so far I've talked about silent films of Alice in Wonderland, Sleeping Beauty, Pinocchio, and Snow White. And of those, 3 of them are European.
Oh, well, that would do it then, I suppose. Yeah.
That would do it.
that helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, I was kind of curious why, they would pick this one, but that helps its chances.
Yeah. And then Snow White, I think it just would have been aesthetically significant because Walt saw it when he was like 16 years old.
Mm-hmm. Was it as interesting to watch as this?
It was a lot like the Disney version, actually. Oh. To the point where I was like, obviously it was silent, so you couldn't hear anyone being like, things like that. But she did still like talk to birds and rabbits and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
About the same then. I still really like Snow White. I think that one holds up. Maybe they picked that. I mean, maybe they just don't have as much room in there. So they picked this Peter Pan. This is definitely better than the Disney one.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And actually, fun fact, the quote-unquote golden age of Disney animation, so we're talking like Snow White through Bambi, that is the only era to have all of its films be preserved by Congress.
Oh. Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me as well. I mean, a lot of them I think did do a lot technically as well as they did culturally. So that kind of makes sense. And they were okay, so that's Bambi. I don't feel like they were near as offensive as some of the later ones. So that's helpful.
I mean, there was also Dumbo.
Dumbo. Okay, well, Dumbo is mainly the crows, if I remember right, that were racist.
And the roustabouts.
Shit, I forgot. Fuck. Oh. I was like,
I mean,
what else is in there?
I'm honestly on the fence about those because unlike something like Peter Pan, I don't feel like those characters interfere with the progress of the plot in a negative way. Mm-hmm. Like, they do good things, and I'm one of the few people that thinks like the roustabout scene, it's like they're talking about the stereotypes that white people have put on them, the same way that everyone who interacts with Dumbo thinks that he's like a mistake or something. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because it at least gives like a voice to them as well, and like something that is more like a productive conversation than it is just to have people to build a caricature of and laugh at for white people's entertainment. So I don't remember the scene as well. I should really rewatch those.
Yeah,
it's about time.
It's about damn time. In a minute, I'm gonna need a sentimental. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Oh, I'm not mad. No apologies necessary.
But yeah, that was all the information until the end. So was there any other takeaways that you had from the silent movie?
Oh, from the silent movie, I mean, yeah, that it was funnier than I thought. Seeing kind of, honestly, hearing just kind of about the queerness from, like, just take on Peter Pan as a whole. It was kind of interesting to watch basically 2 women be together on screen and, like, can just imagine it almost like that. Or, like, anybody can kind of relate to Peter, I guess, in a way, because there's also people who relate to him in the sense that he hasn't figured out who he is yet. He doesn't even necessarily want to get there. You know, he's kind of living in a fantasy world where he hasn't discovered what it means to face adult criticism in what box the world is trying to put you in. Like, he is, but he's still, like, denying conventions. So, if Peter Pan in later versions weren't such, you know, he's kind of a jackass in other ones, but he's kind of, like, a cool icon in the sense that he, like, denies structure. Like, he doesn't want to go to the, like the office, I guess, or do things that are expected of
or be president.
Of him. Yeah, he doesn't want to be president. So I like that take on it, that between him and Hook, that they're also kind of just like denying societal expectations of them and have no desire really to fit in, but they also aren't mad necessarily that people want to go back. They're going to miss them. So if people want to do conventional things, that's fine. I think the only part at the end of the movie when the mom, Mrs. Darling, tells Peter that Wendy can come visit only to do spring cleaning. I was like, why?
Well, that is from the book.
It is. Well, still. Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, it's funny. I'm just like, damn it. Always gotta have a little extra. But it was kind of funny. But at the same time, I'm like, Wendy, don't be excited about that. That cannot be fun. Going to visit your friend to do all of their spring cleaning, but
especially when you have to clean up your friend's fursuits.
Yeah, all of his weird stuff hanging around. I wonder what he's gonna do now. Yeah, the movie itself was good. Also, I thought Mr. Darling deserved way more flack for letting the dog out after Mrs. Darling said, "Don't let the dog out because there's a weirdo coming in the window." And then that night, he puts her out and the kids go missing. I'm like, what, Mr. Darling? Oh.
That reminds me. Can we get to talking about Nana right now?
Yes.
We have a humanimal situation going on.
I have never heard that term.
Well, that actually comes from Disney. They had this show at Walt Disney World called The Legend of the Lion King, and they had these huge ass puppets of like Mufasa, Simba, you know, Timon and Pumbaa, all those guys. But they had people under the stage like propping them up and making them do their gestures and stuff, and they coined a term for those called humanimals. So
it's really fun to say. I like it.
Yeah. But in this context, it feels right and weird. Yes.
What did you think of Nana, Wyatt?
I obviously you couldn't get a trained dog to do half this shit, but I was just like, I would have probably taken that over.
I really wanted the person in the costume, like, I can't remember what gets handed to the dog, but I wanted, like, them to put their hand through the costume's mouth and, like, grab it through the dog mouth and just continue on. I don't know why. I just really wanted that to happen. I thought that'd be so funny. It was funny to watch. I was like, at first I was taken aback, but then to watch the humanimal, and then after Mr. Darling put the dog outside, I was like, never mind, Mr. Darling is the animal here. But also because he's responsible partly for his kid going missing, I was like, why isn't Mrs. Darling more upset with him? I'd be like, bitch, you did not listen to me, and now all my children
That is it.
are gone.
We are getting a divorce.
A divorce? You're like, if that'd be such like a dramatic turn for this story.
Yeah, and actually it did get me thinking. I was like, I wish somebody would do a fan edit on YouTube of the Disney Peter Pan and have them when it's like, think of a wonderful thought, any merry little thought, all that stuff, and then just off screen just have somebody screaming, Wendy! My God, they're going away! Oh my God!
That'd be pretty good.
I wish.
Like just watching them fly away. Like,
my babies!
Yes, The juxtaposition of the tragedy, and then they're so happy to be like flying away.
I know. Oh my god.
I enjoyed this movie. Yeah.
Actually, I do think I did go back to your Peter Pan episode in preparation.
How was that?
For
It's been
this.
so long since I've listened to that.
It was it was pretty good. That was actually the first one where we actually kind of contacted each other, because I wrote into you and asked questions about like what songs have you listened to so far that you think would make great pop punk covers.
Oh my god, yes. I forgot about that. Yes, you had really good questions. That was fun.
Yeah, that was eons ago. I think I was a sophomore in college, maybe a freshman when I sent that.
Yeah. It has been. I think we started that in 2018. God, probably. So, I've re-listened to it. I still like to listen to the or like the part where we do the history and things, because I think we did some pretty nice research. So I listened to it because I do editing for YouTube now, and they watched Alice in Wonderland. So I listened to our, like the history about Alice in Wonderland, and I'd forgotten some of the stuff, and I'm like, oh right, I should just go back through and like, just do some of that, because it's a nice way to like kind of catch up quickly through some of the research. So
yeah,
and it's so rich.
I really
so
like that,
history.
but I also like the guess the plot features.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Back before we knew like any of the plots were so funny. Kelsey guessing like Snow White's plot. That was the first one. That was so funny.
I'll never forget Ask the Cat Jack In.
Oh yeah. What the fuck? Ask the Cat Jack In. Like, what do you think these stand for? Oh my god.
And then I think she has like a step aunt.
Yes. That was it, the evil step aunt. Like, oh my god. Yeah. Kelsey's guessing was so funny.
And then there's a whale when that happens? When he turns into a donkey?
Oh yeah, yeah. Pinocchio, we had no idea what was going to happen in that movie. I was like, I totally forgot most of it until we watched it. I want to watch that again, because I was like so ragging on it, and now I'm like curious to go back and watch it.
Yeah. That one's stuck in my top 5 for like ages. So
yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting, and I think you changed my mind a little bit on it too. I'm like, I think I need to like have a different perspective on Pinocchio and go watch it again. So as like, you get older, it's so interesting to watch movies again, like especially ones that you've watched when you were younger, because you see new things, you hear people's different perspectives on it, and so to kind of watch it with a new lens is really interesting and fun.
yeah. And that was one that I actually avoided for like 10 years. But
oh, really?
unlike Peter Pan, I also grew to like that one a lot more. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there was the scene. This is so funny. It's like everyone keeps talking about how scary Pleasure Island is, and how scary Monster the Whale is, and how scary Stromboli can be. And I was just freaking out over that split-second close-up on that old creep saying like they never come back as boys.
I don't blame you for
nope,
not going
we're
back.
never gonna watch this movie again.
The feelings that some of those movies elicit, it's like, I don't want to return to that. Like,
No.
Fox and the Hound is a classic one that I didn't watch for so long because I knew it made me sad. And rewatching it again, it still made me really sad. But then I could actually like understand the full story. Honestly, I think that movie is still really good. It's like, but it's kind of hard to watch because it is kind of sad. Same with Bambi. Like Bambi, I think is so good. I don't think it makes me cry anymore, luckily. So, which is a relief. I'm like, well, it's when he's calling for his mom. Ugh, God, that part's so sad.
Yeah.
But it's so good. Like the story's really good.
Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna probably spoil some movie opinions before I even get into those.
Oh.
But Bambi, I feel like it has kind of haunted me in a way, but it's not for the things of like, oh, his mom died and he had to go out and live on his own. It's the fact that we as humans have fucked up the wilderness so much
Oh,
that I'm
yeah.
worried about like an animal uprising.
I did not expect it to go that way.
I know, but I mean, like, you know how it's like the Planet of the Apes movies. Like, there was that fear of like primates, like getting to on our level and becoming like cognizant of all these things. And I'm just like, sometimes I genuinely think about the day when, like, since I live out in the woods, there could be a buck standing near my window because I'm literally facing a forest. And there could be one day when its antlers just go right through my window frame. Like,
Sorry. It's possible. It's going to be like, I feel like there are other horror movies like that. I know. But, or like just a sci-fi maybe where, because we're always scared about like computers rising up against us and like getting a personality.
Yes.
But put the chip into the animal, we're doubly screwed now. Like,
oh my god, no!
I'm so sorry. Bambi's safe from that. It's so long ago, but other animals maybe not. I don't know. I feel like that's a sci-fi waiting to happen. That's our third idea.
Oh my god,
Let it play
no.
out.
That I do not greenlight that one. HBO, do not accept.
If the animals uprise, I might just let them take me down. Just let it happen. Just gonna lay in the street, wait for the bears to come. No, I'm sorry.
I love when my podcast discussions get so absurd. I love it. I really do. If you're gonna let me down. If you're gonna Anyway,
What ones did we record together? Did we record Fantasia and then Fantasia 2000? Was that what we did?
No, it was we just did Fantasia 2000, and then we did Piglet's Big Movie.
Oh, right.
Yes, because that was the one where you did that sick guitar solo.
Yes. Yeah, that one, that still makes me laugh. It was so dumb.
I know. I just wish that there was some way you could have like photoshopped Carly Simon into that video.
Oh my god, I should have tried that. Just like grabbed her from the other video. Oh my lord. That was so fun. That was like summer of 2020. I had some time on my hands. I was like, let's go film this. It was like on my road, so it's like a country road. And people are like driving by, and me and Andrew are out there like filming this thing. Like, the neighbors didn't know, like, there's houses across the street, like they must have wondered what we were up to, but they didn't mind, I guess. They didn't ask.
You were just beating that wooden fence, and then you just went back to having the most pleasant smile on your face.
Oh my god, it was so much fun. I would love to do more dumb stuff like that. It's just so silly.
I just wish you would have broken the guitar, like smashed it
I know.
on the ground.
I know, that would have been awesome. And then just like lied smiling, like lay down in it smiling. Be perfect.
With a few good friends.
Yes. That song was stuck in my head for like a year after that. I could not get it to stop. Oh man.
Oh my god. In those halcyon days. Oh my god.
Yep. That was beautiful. True art.
Never be equaled. It's like that Lady Gaga meme that's like, terrific, outstanding, never been done before, truly unique.
Yeah. They should have put that on the Disney Channel or something. They're like, oh, we're playing Piglet's Big Movie. Thanks for inviting me on here, Wyatt. It's been a while since I've got to like just talk about Disney stuff too, like to somebody who like also really likes Disney. So
yeah, and it's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of the other guests that I brought on, it's like, I think some can tell that I'm into it a lot more than they are, but I think we're on like a similar wavelength, and I really enjoy this.
Yeah, same. I mean, I think it's cool that you like all the cool, like, historical, like, movies, and it's It's something I always want to do, but I never know exactly where to start. So this is like a really fun way to explore it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really trying to think about where I want to go with the ordering on this from here on, because there's just so much to talk about that I'm just like, do I want to keep doing things chronologically, or do I want to break off and be like, next subject is the Silver Age and all of that stuff, or do I want to like cover like television shows or cartoons or whatever? It's literally all up in the air right now.
I feel like you could just do, honestly, whatever you're in the mood to do, because I feel like that's the way to do it best, because then you'll be like really sold on it. I mean, we did ours chronologically just because it kind of made, we had like a solid start and end point, so it was like, okay, we'll start here, end there. But this, I like feel like you could bounce around if you wanted to, also because it's like such a time period where we almost don't even have like a great reference point for it. So I don't know. I guess it's up to you, but I think wherever your desires are flowing that day, I feel like would be probably pretty solid, because then you're into it and more likely to like kind of do it. And yeah.
I guess we can go ahead to my final question. Some context first. I was talking about a 16 millimeter copy of Peter Pan that was held at the Disney studio. So what happened was, Walt, he bought the screen rights to Peter Pan in 1938 from Paramount. So basically, along the way, he also obtained that 16 millimeter copy. Oh. And I have a feeling that it definitely influenced the early drafts of his Peter Pan. But I guess without me having shared that already, I was just going to ask, how do you think that this Peter Pan influences the way that the Walt Disney Studios produces films to this day?
To this day, I think, to start with, just reflecting off that, to the Peter Pan that they made, and on the whole. So for the Peter Pan that they made, I think like they borrowed a lot of imagery and from that one. And I think how it works with them today is, of course, that they just love to use other people's stories a lot and tell them in their own way, which isn't always bad, but it can be bad. And, obviously they've gained a lot of content over time, and they've done whatever they can with it. They've always been smart legally speaking. So I think what it's shown is that if they are struggling to come up with a good story or whatever, they can always buy one. And I think what's unfortunate about it is when they don't give credit, but they don't always do a bad job with it. I think they just need, if they do a better job giving credit or like bringing on people who tell those stories rather. So Disney brings so much lightness to people's lives, but also there's like, the dark business side, the Disness.
That's actually probably a great working title for this podcast. Let's get down to Disness.
Disness. That's how it's like. I wish so much that they gave more credit. Learning about like the Lion King situation from borrowing from Japan and borrowing, I think, the woman from Mexico story for Coco. And I guess it comes down to they can always go out and search for stories, and they don't always. That is really their business side, is to kind of how the sausage gets made isn't always something you want to see. But when you do see it, you're like, you realize the darkness behind it. The unfortunate circumstances, I suppose.
Yeah. I would say, I guess just to put it simply, that there are other movie studios who can take the same material that Disney uses to adapt for their films and produce a better movie. Mm-hmm. I really feel like, though this is a more straightforward and literal adaptation of Barrie's novel and play, I still think that I would hope it makes more viewers feel better about themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like, I mean, also on the side of just like creative content, it's like people do borrow a lot from other stories and storytelling. And I think that's, honestly productive and creative. I think the difference for Disney is that they try to keep their creativity and lock it down. Like, for example, obviously the trying to keep Mickey Mouse
Mm-hmm.
locked up as long as possible. So they just don't allow people to use their creative stuff while they're willing to take it in from other people all the time. That's the difference, I think, for Disney. But I do hope the 1923 version makes people feel better than I'm sure it must than the 1953 version.
Yeah. And it was even remarked at the time of the Disney version that it was like they removed a lot of the sentimentality of Barry's story, which I think is a loss.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think sometimes it's easy to give the excuse for older stories and be like, oh, it's of the time, it's of this and of that. And it's like, sometimes that's true. But when you see like critics commenting on it the same way people of today comment on it, you're like, okay, then maybe maybe they were wrong at the time. So, and they knew it.
Yeah. Yep. But they didn't care because they made it oodles and oodles of money.
Yeah, exactly. They don't mind so much. So as long as it can sell tickets, or maybe they just don't care to learn. I'm not sure. So,
yeah.
Anywho, but yeah.
And on that note,
on that bright note, watch the 1923 version because it is in fact better.
Yes, indeed. And that concludes this chapter on Disney Reel to Reel. Debbie, this was a roller coaster, and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, same. Thank you for having me, Wyatt. This was super fun. It was great to learn and to reconnect.
Yes, it was a lovely, lovely time. All right, well, that is that. So I guess until next time, have a magical day, everybody.
Bye.
Would you send me to school? Well, yes. And then to an office? I suppose so. Soon I would be a man. Very soon. Oh, I don't want to go to school and learn solemn things. I don't want to be a man. Oh, Wendy's mother, if I was to wake up and feel there was a beard! Peter, I should love you in a beard. Keep back, lady. No one is going to catch me and make me a man. But where are you going to live? With Tink in the house we built for Wendy. The fairies are to put it high among the treetops where they sleep at nights. How lovely! I thought all the fairies were dead. There are always a lot of young ones, because you see, when a new baby laughs for the first time, a new baby is born, and as there are always new babies, there are always new fairies. They live in nests on the tops of trees, and the mauve ones are boys, and the white ones are girls, and the blue ones are just little sillies who are not sure what they are. I shall have such fun. It will be rather lonely in the evening, sitting by the fire. I shall have Tink. Tink can't go a 20th part of the way round. Sneaky telltale! Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, Peter, you know it matters. Well, then come with me to the little house. May I, Mummy? Certainly not. I have got you home again, and I mean to keep you. But he does so need a mother. So do you, my love. Oh, all right, Peter said, as if he had asked her from politeness merely. But Mrs. Darling saw his mouth twitch, and she made this handsome offer to let Wendy go to him for a week every year to do his spring cleaning. Wendy would have preferred a more permanent arrangement, and it seemed to her that spring would be long in coming, but this promise sent Peter away quite gay again. He had no sense of time, and was so full of adventures that all I have told you about him is only a halfpenny worth of them. I suppose it was because Wendy knew this, that her last words to him were these rather plaintive ones. You won't forget me, Peter, will you, before spring cleaning time comes? Of course, Peter promised, And then he flew away. He took Mrs. Darling's kiss with him. The kiss that had been for no one else, Peter took quite easily. Funny, but she seemed satisfied.